Hi everyone, welcome to my 12 days of Christmas watercolour challenge. It's Christmas trees and we're on to day 6. This one's going to be a sunset and Christmas trees scene. So I've got a piece of paper, 5 by 7 inches. This is Saunders Waterford, £140 rough. I'm going to come on with some water first of all. I'm using my round number 10. I'm going to pop water all over. I don't really want that hair in there. Do that. Nice even sheen, no puddles. Use the colours that I have here from yesterday. So I'm going to start with a little bit. This is wintery yellow, but cadmium yellow would work just as well. Have a little bit of a sunset. Just going to bring some of that through. Then this is mauve, but permanent rose would work, so would cadmium red. I'm going to pop a little bit in. I'm still following that little bit of a diagonal stroke. The paint's neat, but I'm dipping my brush into water. Give that a bit of a rinse. Dip into some water and a little bit of intense blue. So as that mixes with the mauve, you'll find it goes a little bit more Prussian. But still nice effect. Try not to hit the yellow, or you'll end up with a green. And then I'm going to take a little bit of indigo. Just bring in a few little wispy bits of cloud. Again, I'm not touching into the yellow because that will make green. A few little wispy bits of cloud. And then I'm going to take a 5p piece, wrap that in some tissue. And I'm going to take out a little bit of a sun. So I'm going to go here. There we go. So that's working really nicely. I'm going to swap down to a number 6 now. And here I've got a little bit of sepia, which I'm adding a bit of water to. I'm going to make a bit of a plummy colour. I'm going to take some of this mauve into there. So this is still nice and wet. Take a tiny bit of the indigo because I want it to be a little bit darker. Okay, and then what I want to do is just create some very distant trees. So these are going to be nice and soft. Different heights. All the way through with my round number 6. And I'm just filling out some of these areas, so they're going to be very distant. Trees within the background. If I pick up my rigger, I can just bring some of these a little bit higher. I'm still thinking sort of fir conifer trees. Do that little bit of a wiggle through. When they're overlapping, you're not going to see all of the conifer edges, and they're in the distance, so it's just giving you a hazy look. with my round number 10, I'm just going to check that this is wet enough still down here. A little bit of blue bodes well. I want a little bit of blue in there. So this is going to be quite snowy. So I'm going to take that little bit of blue in there. I've still got a little bit of mauve just there. Just going to bring that towards the front, just so that's starting to work really nicely. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. What I'm doing now is adding a little bit more water into this plummy mix. And I want this to be not too strong now. I'm going to come in and start to create a little conifer tree. This is on to dry now. So this is going to build up. We're going to bring this down. So little flicks as you're coming down, quite random still. Fill in this section. Vary the pressure of the brush and do a little flick. This works really nicely. I'm going to get my rigger. I want to go a little bit taller. And I can just bring out a few littler wispy bits just towards the top. Those little flicky curvy bits that you want to get. And this looks quite dark, but as it dries it will be a lot lighter because it is quite fluid still. And then I'm going to pick up my round number 10. I'm going to check that it's nice and clean, loaded with water. I'm going to touch in. You see, I'm touching in, I'm pressing further down. I want that to nicely soften in at that bottom section. So it's going to naturally give it a little bit of shadow. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry, and what we need to do now is darken this mix up. So I'm going to pop in a little bit more of the mauve, pop in a little bit more of the sepia, and pop in a little bit more of the indigo. So I'm looking for that purpley plummy colour, and I might even add a dash of yellow, and just really to make a bit of a greeny colour. Depending on how plummy it is, it might turn. So this time I'm going to come to this side and I'm going to go bigger. So bigger and bolder. So you can see the darker nice flicky out motion. This is a lot thicker, and it is going to cover some of the trees that we've already got, but that's fine because we're layering up and we're creating atmosphere and depth. I'm just basically deciding as I go where I want these trees to be. And then because this one's bigger, it's going to come down closer. In fact, it's coming slightly off the page now. And then if I go to my rigger, I can come up a little bit higher so that I get that nice point. Do a little bit more of the flicking out. The rigger makes it really nice and natural, mainly because you're not so in control of it. And we're going to overlap this tree in the middle ground. And this time I don't want to soften that in. I want it to feel that it's getting closer. So we're going to have that hard bottom on there as well. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's working really nice. I'm going to take a little bit of intense blue in with a bit of water. So this is my round number 10. I can just start to bring in some additional shadow. So the light's coming this way. So this tree will go this way. Get that nice shadowed effect. We'll have that one with a bit of shadow this way. I don't want to do too much with those in the background, but I do want to pop in some little bits of shadow. On the snow, so you get a little bit more of a surface here. So just vary the pressure. Then if you get a bit of kitchen towel and just dab this lightly, it just gives a sense that the snow is mounding and it's not all even. It gives a really nice effect. If I take my round number 6 and then I want to just make this blue in here just a little bit darker, just so it really sets and grounds this tree just in there, nice and dark. Take a little bit of the sepia just to stop it looking too bright. You can use the sepia or the indigo. I've got a dab of sepia there and a dab of indigo. Just soften that in with a damp brush just there, and it just holds that together a little bit better. And there we go, so that's day 6 all finished. Very atmospheric, gives you a real sense of distance, depth and distance there. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. If you hit the notification bell, you'll get the next challenge coming through to you, and I shall see you soon. Bye.